To be qualified as a fireman's exempt means you've been an active member of the Watchung Chemical Engine Company, attending at least 60% of the activities, drills, and fire calls within a given year. You must do so for a minimum of 7 years. The Firemen's Exempt Hall on Mountain Boulevard was built and fundraised by the exempt members, but was originally organized as the Association of Exempt Firemen of North Plainfield on December 12, 1921. Construction on the exempt building began in December 1941 and was completed and dedicated on July 4, 1942. The Borough of Watchung owns the property and leases it to the Firemen's Exempt. The Watchung Chemical Engine Company and exempt members own the building and assume responsibility for the upkeep of the structure. They continue to raise funds independently by renting the space to private and public organizations. The Fireman's Pig Roast, Turkey Raffle, Clam Bake, Steak and Venison Dinners, and the Pancake Breakfast are a few of the internal events that take place each year at the exempt building, but it's used for much more. It has become a designated warming center for the borough, used periodically for local blood drives, and most commonly known as a rental hall for parties and events. The structure was once used as a temporary school in 1948 after the Arts Center, originally used as a schoolhouse, could no longer accommodate the class sizes. This was only temporary, however, as the borough awaited the completion of Watchung Borough School, better known today as Valley View Middle School. Harlan Pratt, owner of the Valley Furniture Shop and president of the PTA, or Parent Teacher Association, at that time, assisted in laying the cornerstone of the Watchung Borough School. The cornerstone, with the engraving 1948, is still visible today. A walk around the exempt property reveals an interesting artifact and memorial tree. In 1932, just 16 years before Harlan Pratt assisted in laying the cornerstone of the Watchung Borough School, the PTA, known today as the PTO, or Parent Teacher Organization, planted a white oak tree in honor of George Washington. The tree is still visible from the Watchung Circle and is estimated to be at least 90 or 95 years old. A flagpole north of the lower outdoor patio at the exempt hall was dedicated in honor of a longtime fireman, Ralph D. Roberts, after his passing. Roberts served as a celebratory chairman of Watchung Chemical Engine Company's 50th anniversary celebration in 1960. He was best known as a premier chef at many of the exempt events and a dedicated volunteer for the entire community. One of the most iconic symbols associated with the Firemen's Exempt Hall is the large steel locomotive wheel in the front of the property that was obtained in 1911. It was originally used as a fire alarm by being hit with a sledgehammer, alerting other firemen in town of an emergency. Leontine Texier, who lived across the street from the exempt hall at the Texier House, first rang it during borough emergencies. It was a long-time tradition in town that each Memorial Day it would be rung in honor of those firemen who had passed. The steel locomotive wheel was moved from the exempt hall property to the Watchung Chemical Engine Company's front lawn and dedicated to Claude Red Ford. It was not the first fire alarm used in the borough, however. A bell situated at Wilson Memorial Church was originally rung to alert firemen of an emergency. While the number of fire calls at the start of the organization's history was minor compared to the number of calls today, the wives of firemen always played an important role assisting their husbands during lengthy fire calls. The Ladies' Auxiliary was founded in 1925 by 7 women with the motto to help the firemen in any way possible. They would help plan fundraising events for local organizations including churches, schools, needy families, orphans, and service members. During fire calls, they would bring the firemen snacks and drinks of all kinds, including coffee, iced tea, lemonade, and soup. Firemen's jobs limited their availability to always be on the lookout for fires and emergencies. As fire prevention technology advanced, so did the number of calls and need for extra assistance. In 1956, women began staffing the firemen's headquarters, sometimes around the clock, to field fire calls and relay information to the firemen. These women had to be licensed by the Federal Communications Commission, and it was believed to be one of the first woman-run organizations of its kind in the state of New Jersey. In 1959, these calls were channeled through the newly constructed shortwave police radio tower that was constructed behind Borough Hall. The stunning stained wood paneling in the upper level of the exempt hall is a defining feature of the building. It was installed simply because it was the style at the time of the building's construction. There are 2 kitchens, one for public use and the second used for exempt members and special occasions. The basement, or lower level of the building, was always larger than the upstairs room. An addition to the upper level was constructed in the 1970s solely by the exempt members, and on top of the oversized basement, which expands the upstairs hall floor area significantly. It was common for exempt members to gather together in fraternity on Friday nights. One of the most commonly played and popular games was the shuffleboard in the lower level. The game, while it is not often used today, can still be found against the east wall on the lower level. While the Firemen's Exempt are an important part of Watchung's history, there would be no Firemen's Exempt without the Watchung Chemical Engine Company, or Fire Department, itself. It was first organized on August 18, 1910, at the Malls Hotel, better known as the Washington House Hotel and Restaurant. This was 16 years before Watchung Borough itself was incorporated in 1926. It was the spontaneous idea of William de la Roche Anderson, who felt a fire company was needed after a routine test of a fire extinguisher at the Washington House. Ironically, the Washington House, owned by George Mora, would be completely destroyed by a devastating fire on October 19, 1962. Remains of the foundation can still be found in the woods behind the gas station, just northwest of the Donald R. Scotty Public Works Garage.